I was playing the flute yesterday. I was playing the flute yesterday. She was enjoying the weather at the park. She was enjoying the weather at the park. I was preparing to go out when the doorbell rang. I was preparing to go out when the doorbell rang. I was sleeping soundly. I was sleeping soundly. It was hailing yesterday. It was hailing yesterday. We were playing hockey. We were playing hockey. When I was walking, I slipped. When I was walking, I slipped. I was going to the restaurant yesterday at this time. I was going to the restaurant yesterday at this time. She was not taking care of her child. She was not taking care of her child. Was she burning the fire? Was she burning the fire? Who was standing at the door? Who was standing at the door? For whom were people waiting? For whom were people waiting? Where were you working last year? Where were you working last year? Was Jimmy broadcasting the news? Was Jimmy broadcasting the news? Why were you quarreling with your brother? Why were you quarreling with your brother? Were you preparing for the final exam? Were you preparing for the final exam? Why was he going to the hospital yesterday? Why was he going to the hospital yesterday? Exercise helped him a lot to maintain his health. Exercise helped him a lot to maintain his health. We went for a walk to enjoy the weather. We went for a walk to enjoy the weather. He did a great favor to me. He did a great favor to me. He devoted himself to biotechnology research. He devoted himself to biotechnology research. The sailor swam across the river. The sailor swam across the river. I traveled to Rome 3 years ago. I traveled to Rome 3 years ago. They followed her everywhere. They followed her everywhere. I was washing the car while my wife was cleaning the home. I was washing the car while my wife was cleaning the home. I was reading a book while the kids were watching TV. I was reading a book while the kids were watching TV. I was leaving the office when it started raining. I was leaving the office when it started raining. He turned his laziness into activity. He turned his laziness into activity. He whitewashed the house a month ago. He whitewashed the house a month ago. He did not sleep well because he was sick. He did not sleep well because he was sick. She did not even bother to answer me. She did not even bother to answer me. The company did not increase my salary last year. The company did not increase my salary last year. He did not follow the footsteps of his parents. He did not follow the footsteps of his parents. The mason did not leave the work incomplete. The mason did not leave the work incomplete. Have you been living in this house for 5 years? Have you been living in this house for 5 years? Have you been saving money for bad times for 5 years? Have you been saving money for bad times for 5 years? Why have you been calling me? Why have you been calling me? Who has been ringing the doorbell? Who has been ringing the doorbell? Why have you been blaming me for no reason? Why have you been blaming me for no reason? The teacher taught the lesson well. The teacher taught the lesson well. The baby cried in the cradle. The baby cried in the cradle. She left the town for good. She left the town for good. The teacher marked the answer books of students. The teacher marked the answer books of students. I threw the wood into the water, but it did not sink. I threw the wood into the water, but it did not sink. We used to take a bath in the tube well. We used to take a bath in the tube well. I went to college 3 years ago. I went to college 3 years ago. He ate dinner 1 hour ago. He ate dinner 1 hour ago. I slept well last night. I slept well last night. I lived in Bangkok for 5 years. I lived in Bangkok for 5 years. He entered a room, lit a cigarette, and smiled at the guests. He entered a room, lit a cigarette, and smiled at the guests. The teacher said that the earth moves around the sun. The teacher said that the earth moves around the sun. John entered the hall to attend the party. John entered the hall to attend the party. My father told me that an honest person is always satisfied. My father told me that an honest person is always satisfied. I used to play the flute. I used to play the flute. I acted upon your advice. I acted upon your advice. It rained heavily last night. It rained heavily last night. I used to go to the hill station. I used to go to the hill station. Did you reach home safely? Did you reach home safely? Did he demand a fair price for the rabbit? Did he demand a fair price for the rabbit? Did you go to the hill station last Sunday? Did you go to the hill station last Sunday? Why did you laugh? Why did you laugh? Why did you insist? Why did you insist? I was watching TV yesterday in the evening. I was watching TV yesterday in the evening. She was sleeping on the couch. She was sleeping on the couch. The dog was barking. The dog was barking. Where did she go? Where did she go? I used to live in a village. I shifted to a city a year ago. I used to live in a village. I shifted to a city a year ago. The moon did not appear yesterday. The moon did not appear yesterday. He did not listen to me. He did not listen to me. He did not cut the tree. He did not cut the tree. They did not attend the party. They did not attend the party. You did not respond to my mail. You did not respond to my mail. I was talking with James when the telephone rang. I was talking with James when the telephone rang. She was studying physics all day yesterday. She was studying physics all day yesterday. He was not listening to me. He was not listening to me. Bob was not cutting the trees. Bob was not cutting the trees. The couple was eating ice cream and walking. The couple was eating ice cream and walking. The kids were playing in the park when I was walking. The kids were playing in the park when I was walking. He was writing an article when she was sleeping. He was writing an article when she was sleeping. She was cooking the food when I was watching the TV. She was cooking the food when I was watching the TV. They were not helping each other. They were not helping each other. She was not attending the classes regularly. She was not attending the classes regularly. I was not watching TV when she came. I was not watching TV when she came. He was not studying chemistry yesterday. He was not studying chemistry yesterday. What were you doing while you were waiting? What were you doing while you were waiting? Why were you laughing? Why were you laughing? She did not agree with my opinion while I was talking to her. She did not agree with my opinion while I was talking to her. I was not accepting her invitation. I was not accepting her invitation. He was not taking the medicines regularly. He was not taking the medicines regularly.